Hi, this is Tad from Island, and today I'm joined by Glenn Medina. He's one of our SEs based in California. And Glenn was just telling me a cool story about a financial customer he's working with. Welcome, Glenn. Tell me more about that customer.
Hey, thanks, Tad. It's a financial FinTech company. Just recently started, I would like to say within the last several years here, and they've made great progress. We're a great company, and great customer to work for, right? Or work with right now.
So what was the problem that they were trying to solve when they approached you and wanted to learn more about the enterprise browser?
Yeah, so the problem that this customer had was being a FinTech company, they used an outsourcing company in order to process some of their application or their workflows, and in doing so, they had to allow these outsourcing groups access to their data, so their records or whatnot, and that was important to them. What typically is done is they would use a virtual environment, either a VDI of some sort, whether it be Azure VD, Citrix, or at Amazon Workstation, and in those instances, they could encapsulate that data within there. That being said, they lose visibility because they depend on the outsourcing company to provide that connectivity back based off of a set of requirements that they have. And in losing that visibility, they don't necessarily understand or can see, in that visibility, can see what the employees or the contractors are doing from that standpoint.
Yeah. And so in this case, I'm imagining this is very sensitive data like payment information and PII data that obviously you need to protect both legally and to protect your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So think of customer record information, think of credit card information, think of banking information that's associated with that. All that, rightfully stitched together could lead to some event where if data was lost in that instance, either to an insider threat or whatnot, it could lead to some very big losses for them and their customers.
Yeah. And you mentioned virtualization. This is something we've heard from a number of customers who are now using Island, that the alternative of trying to deploy VDI or desktop as a service, of course, it works. You can do that, but it's a much more cumbersome process. And you mentioned, tell me more about the visibility angle, that they were not really satisfied with the degree of visibility they would get if someone's using a virtualized environment like that.
Yeah, if you look at it from a workflow standpoint, the reason why you have virtualization is the fact that you're trying to control all the interactions the contractor has with the data sets or the data that they're using right within those applications. And all it is basically when you encapsulate it, you kind of prevent it from leaking out east-west. That's a very clunky service. It's very old in technology. The user experience is not that great, simply because you're trying to round trip traffic to a location that has compute and then replay that video service back to the end user, or in this case, the contractor. Not quite the best user experience. You get what you need, but not necessarily in the best way.
Yeah. And I've learned a lot about this. You mentioned before the kind of the business process outsourcer, BPO. This model is actually a lot more common than you might imagine, because a lot of times when you're calling up a large financial company like this, the person who's actually handling things like customer service might be one of these outsourced contractors working for a BPO. And can you just tell me a little more about kind of how does that relationship work between the BPO and the host or the company that's hiring them?
Yeah, so the host company will have, in this situation, my understanding was they had 8 or 9 BPOs that handled different parts of the workflow or their company workflow. In this instance, we were dealing with the two of the first ones to be onboarded. In that situation, the BPO was very was wanting to make sure that they appeased who is their customer, right, which is the person that's hiring them, and make sure that they could abide by that. Again, they've been doing, the BPOs have been doing this for quite a while. They were a little shocked, I'll be honest with you, about, can we do this all within a browser and keep the data encapsulated and not let the data leak out east and west? And then after the first couple of trials of first getting the configuration done in order to make this workflow seamless, right? So we had to set up authentication. Once the authentications were set, work streams were set up, then we were able to do the actual prevention, those last mile controls, those cut, copy, paste. I'd like to say they were quite interested in how that was done. Because again, all the processing is done within the browser, and the ability to prevent that data from leaking out or leaking onto or bleeding out onto the desktop was quite new to them.
Yeah, that's great. And so we're actually able to give them, both the BPO organization themselves has a smoother process, and ultimately the employees are going to get a better experience too, because they're not dealing with kind of that that clunky user interface that you often get with virtualization.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Hey, thanks, Glenn. Thanks for sharing that story, and we'll have you again here sometime soon.
Okay, thanks.